crossed paths with men who may one day bring about order. Until then, you must adapt to the chaos and find a way to survive. So choose your path wisely. Go forth and learn what it means to be a hero.
You claim to strive for justice, but have no way to achieve it. Tearing down the system without providing an alternative is mere wanton destruction. The die has been cast. All that remains is to see this through.
Good evening. Welcome to Tokyo Game Show official program Dynasty Warriors Origin. I'm today's host, Hatsune Matsushima. Thank you for having me. So today we're going to deep dive into this title, which is going to be launched on January 17th, 2025, and we will provide the latest information. And we also have our guest today. I'm the producer of Dynasty Warriors Origins, the most handsome guy from the Koei Tecmo Games. My name is Sho. Thank you for having me. Well, yeah, we should have to start with that. And now let's dive into the overview of the Dynasty Warriors Origin. So this title is a tactical action game that offers an experience like no other, and the players can enjoy a sense of realism on the battlefield and the exhilarating action of 1 versus 1,000 in the world of the Three Kingdoms, which is both Chinese history and the story, a fusion of the story of the Three Kingdoms, tactics, and battles. And this is the latest series of the Three Kingdoms, but it is a suitable work for fans, but also for people who have never played it before and do not have the knowledge of the Three Kingdoms. It is a completely new title, and so you can start from here. And what I want to know is that what is the difference between the battles and the tactics? They sound very similar. So let me explain. Battles mean to break through the tidal war with your own fighting skills to directly beat the enemies. And the tactics means to assess and maneuver through the battle situation and indirectly leading to the victory of your own troops. And in order to win, both are very important, and to enjoy the sense of realism on the battlefield and the exhilarating action. And it is a new design. So for the series fans, as well as for the newcomers, I'm sure that many people are curious about Origins and which platform will it be available. It will be available on PS5, Xbox Series XS, and Steam. Fully leverage the functions of the hardwares and to enjoy the battles with massive armies. We just watched the video a little bit, and I think it's very exciting. A lot of people got excited, I'm sure, and I look forward to its release on January the 17th. Yes, and we are working very hard to make a game that can be enjoyed by all the game fans around the world. And now let's look into more details of this game. There are 4 key points of Dynasty Warriors Origins. Number 1 is an intense Three Kingdoms experience. Number 2, the protagonists and officers. Number 3, traveling across the Chinese continent. Number 4, battles with massive armies. And we are releasing the information for the first time about the battles and actions, and we will also do an actual gameplay, so please stay with us till the last minute. And now let's go into the first point, an intense Three Kingdoms experience. Now let me take over. So the story begins in AD 183, a year before the Yellow Turban Rebellion, and the protagonist will encounter the heroes who rose up to settle the rebellion. A dynamic story will unfold. And following the Yellow Turban Rebellion, the protagonist will go through the iconic battles of the Three Kingdoms, the battle against the tyrannical Dong Zhuo, the most powerful officer Lu Bu, the battle of Guandu, in which Cao Cao beat the powerful forces of Yuan Shao. These will lead to the culmination of the first half of the Three Kingdoms, the Battle of Chibi, a large-scale battle by Wei Shu and Wu. The story is rich and profound. The story ends at the Battle of Chibi, and for people who know the series, it may feel like you have shaved off a lot of volumes. Well, it is very a difficult decision for us to make, but we end the story at the Battle of Chibi, which means that we can actually enrich the story up until that battle. And also, I'm going to give you more details. It is not a one-way. It is a multi-ending, and the volume is on par with the previous series. So you deliberately ended the game at the Battle of Chibi, and to make the story richer, exactly. And also, it will feel very refreshed for the fans. And as you said, that for people who do not know the history of the Three Kingdoms, including myself, like, do we have to study a little bit? Do we have to prepare before we start playing the game? You don't have to. Absolutely not. And on the contrary, we designed and we produced the game in a way that people who do not know the Three Kingdoms can enjoy the characters and the story. And even if you have zero knowledge about Three Kingdoms, you can still enjoy the games, the heroic officers during the rise and fall of their country, fight with faith and ambitions, enjoy the dynamic story. I also want to learn. Yes, of course, you can play, and up until the Battle of Chibi, you will become Dr. Three Kingdom. And then we can also talk about the Three Kingdom among the fans. Our dream will expand. And as I said, this is not a one-way story. It is a multi-ending story. When you start the game, the protagonist does not belong to any of the forces. And as the story unfolds, you will join either Cao Cao, Sun Jian, or Liu Bei, who will later form the Three Kingdoms, and you will interact deeply with the heroes, and you will decide the ending of your story and also the future of each forces. And you can play again and again. And that's exactly what we want people to do. Please play it again and again, and that's what we incorporated into the game. And you can play with your favorite officer. And now let's look at the protagonist and the officers. The original Three Kingdoms is an ensemble cast without a specific protagonist, but the story of this game is based on a consistent first-person point of view of the original character to provide a more immersive experience. The protagonist is a young man with amnesia, and he does not have a name, and he will interact with many heroes and get himself involved in battles in different regions. As his surrounding environment changes, he is going to gradually retrieve his memory. His lost memory is going to affect the story, right? Exactly. His memory and his origin have a lot to do with the story, and the protagonist is the player, and you will be deeply involved in the story. And the players can name the protagonist, but he will also actually he has a special power, and he utilized that capability, that power to fight, and so he will be called Ziluan because of his fighting style, and we will talk about that special power later. And you will be playing from the point of view of the protagonist, so you will be controlling him, but you can also control the 9 officers that he's close with, and they are called companions, and you can work together and fight together. And let me show you those 9 officers. Let me start with the companion of the Cao Cao's forces. So Xiao Houdun, Cao Cao's cousin and a strong officer, and Guo Jia, a young and genius strategist, and then Zhang Liao, who is so powerful as he became the origin of the expression fearful enough to silence a crying child. And then we have the companions of the Sun Jian's forces. So Huang Gai, who served the Sun's family for 3 generations, Sun Shangxiang, the little sister of Sun Ce or Sun Quan. Later, she will marry Liu Bei, and Zhou Yu, the sworn brother of Sun Ce, a brave and resourceful officer. So we have a good balance of men and female. And then companions of Liu Bei's forces, Guan Yu and Zhang Fei, the invisible heroes and the sworn brothers of Liu Bei, they supported Liu Bei's achievements without fail. And Zhao Yun, a young brave officer who is full of courage. So these are all the famous officers, and these are even famous beyond people who do not know Three Kingdoms. And some of the officers, their age and is during the Yellow Turban Rebellion. So actually the design has changed in accordance with their age, and the costume will change depending on their age, and also the change of their positions. And that's great. That will add more fun to the game.
In this game, in addition to this country, many heroic figures from the Three Kingdoms will appear as both enemies and allies. They won't accompany the protagonist in battles, but you can deepen your relationships and bonds with them, so we hope you enjoy interacting with them. I want to meet the officers. Alright, let's move on to the third topic. It's about traveling across the Chinese mainland. In this game, you'll move across the continental map to reach cities, towns, and battlefields. In cities and towns, you can buy weapons and items, or generate upgrading items called gems at inns to enhance yourself. And also you'll receive letters that will trigger missions. Letters? That sounds interesting. The map is made up of different areas, like Jiso province and Yugo province, and the areas you can access will gradually increase. Great. Although it's a condensed map of the Chinese mainland, it still takes time to travel, so we've prepared fast travel. But honestly, for those who've read the Romance of the Three Kingdoms in manga or novels, some people might not fully understand the geography on the map. That's right. But in this map, you can enjoy the game and actually learn it, so you understand the geography, right? Oh, this is where the battle took place. Wow. You will really become knowledgeable. Yes, I hope everyone can enjoy learning while they play. Awesome. And on the battlefield, there aren't just the main battles, but also spontaneous battles and mission-based fights, where the player can choose to play. By resolving the conflicts in each area, the peace level or peace index increases, and you can also get rewards like accessories. I like elements like this, something you can really dive into. There are a lot of contents like that. It's not just about passing through an area. You will want to look back on the places you've walked through. Yes, that's exactly how we want you to enjoy the game, so please look forward to that. Besides that, you can also gather necessary materials and ancient coins to generate the upgrading items or gems, or interact with heroic figures, so I hope you enjoyed exploring the map as well. Thank you. Now, lastly, let's talk about the battles with overwhelming armies. Let's take a look at this. Can you tell how many soldiers are on it? Well, maybe 50? No way, it's impossible to count them all. Exactly, we haven't actually counted them either. What I thought was grass is actually an army in the background, isn't it? Yes, that's right. It's all soldiers. I haven't counted them either. You didn't count them? On the screen, there can be thousands of soldiers clashing in battles. Of course, the goal isn't just to display a lot of soldiers. This is to create an overwhelming sense of immersion on the battlefield and showcasing the unique strategies and actions. The more there are, the more satisfying it is when you defeat them, and it makes them terrifying as enemies. Exactly. While the heroic figures are each powerful on their own, the soldiers against you or with you can become a threat or reliable ally through sheer numbers. In this game, these overwhelming armies play a critical role both strategically and in terms of action. These armies generally have very high morale, and officials and soldiers with high morale are incredibly strong, so they are a very powerful force. From an action standpoint, if the protagonist tries to fight alone, it's very likely they will be beaten down by those highly motivated soldiers. It's possible. It's reckless, or rather dangerous. Of course, if you've trained your character or if you're confident in your skills, go ahead and try it. If you can do it, give it a shot. And yes, there really is a possibility that such an approach could work. The key to success lies in how you break down or weaken the enemy's massive army and how you attack with your own forces. If things don't go well, you might be defeated in the end, but if they do, you could wipe out the enemies with great satisfaction. So really everything changes depending on how you strategize and fight, right? Exactly. So that's where it becomes crucial. Well, that's the idea, but we'll explain in more detail by actually playing the game, focusing on the massive armies and new action mechanics. First, we'll take a look at the world map. You can move around the vast Chinese continent on the condensed map like this. The visuals are so beautiful. Also, depth is very nice. I don't mean to be self-congratulatory, but I do think it's really great. Thank you. I really like how it looks. The player character is a big too. I think it has the cuteness or right balance and miniaturized. I like to see how you can proceed. As I explained earlier, there are battlefields and cities on the map, and you can decide the destinations and proceed. For now, let's access nearby Puyang. You can walk the city. The city has several facilities like this. At the weapon shop, you can buy and sell weapons. And at the shop, you can buy items to bring to the battlefield. And the inn, you can read letters from officers and do other things. But I will talk about that in another time. I'm curious about the letter, but I understood. I'm good at picking up things. That's about all for cities for now. I would like to head to the Battle of Guandu, one of the most famous battles in the Three Kingdoms. This yellow circle where the soldier is standing is a mission where battles take place. This is also a red ore-like object, which indicates where you can find gems or your materials used to create equipment. It's so interesting, wow. There's a lot of RPG-like things to do. Just walking around looks fun. There are many other things to explain, but now let's depart for the Battle of Gandu. Before major battles, sometimes special conversations like this take place. Do you mean that the characters are talking about what kind of battle this is? Yes, they are talking about the flow of events up to this point, this battle, and beyond that in the War Council. While I'd like to show you this in entirety, I'd like to enjoy it for yourself, so I will skip it this time. Personally, I'm happy about the phonetic characters. This time we've included them so that it's easy to read. It can be hard to read the names of people and places. Let's skip this and go. Now, before certain battles begin, war councils like this are held. War councils are where the conditions for victory or defeat are explained, as well as a strategy, such as what route to take, which key locations to be defended, and so on. It's so good. They explain everything carefully. Not only about strategy, but conversations between officers may contain unexpected hints in them, so I think listening to these carefully will make them more enjoyable. Now let's also skip past the War Council. This is for when you actually play. Or it says here companions. Yes, here you can select a companion. Depending on the battle, the starting position may change depending on the companion you choose, so think about who you fight with each time. You can even go alone. Yes, however, in this battle, the starting position will not change no matter which companion is selected, so this time I will go with Xiahou who is selected first. Let's go to the Battle of Bangu.
Nice voice. Together with Cao Cao. Nice. Just to casually mention that it loads really fast. You're right, here we go. Now for the battle. Oh, wait, there are a lot of enemies. They're enemies, right? Yes, of course they are enemies, but there are allies too. Now let's go. This is quite a situation, but you're not engulfed in the crowd at all. Yes, otherwise we would be run over. So first of all, in front of us is enemy Zhang He pushing forward with his large force. So let's fight in this area for a while so that our allies will not be crushed. They seem very strong. Officers are also in there. They're incredibly strong. Soldiers also have deadly attacks when they turn orange. This is special arts that blocks an enemy's deadly attack. Orange, they continuously come at you. This is a power attack that cannot be guarded against. Oh, it's going to be like this. I don't want to be stuck here fighting myself against a large force, so I'm thinking of moving on in a little bit. Delegate. Yes. I guess one option might be to keep fighting this all the way through. You could wipe out all the enemies here, then move on. But it seems like I can't this time, so I will leave this to my allies for now. And from here, we will help Xu Huang, who is trying to cut off enemy supply lines by attacking the enemy base. We are meeting up with them. Xu Huang is in front of us. So first, I will attack this base. By defeating enemy officers or enemy troops in the base, you will empty the red gauge at the top and conquer it. So that is how it looks like. That's easy to understand. And there's a red dot below the gauge that indicates the number of enemy officers in the base. And if there is even one officer remaining in the base, it will not fall. Once the gauge is empty and no officers are left, you can take over the base. Cool. Wow, that's nice. Our skilled director is handling the gameplay today. The gameplay is so cool when you can carry out smoothly like this. And we are so close to conquering the base. Wonderful. That's cool. This feeling is addictive, isn't it? Now we have taken over the base. I would like to move on. The first place we were at is getting more and more dangerous. But we will ignore that for now. That's important. We cannot be stuck. So Cao Cao is now in Area 2 in the southeast. And since Cao Cao is about to head north to a place called Wuchao, it would be a good idea to help him. So I'm going to join up with Cao Cao while defeating the enemies that are in the way of our passage. Nice move. And you can check the map in the lower right corner and cooperate with your allies while looking at where they are coming from. And important status messages are shown on the right side, like Cao Cao has started marching towards Wuchao, so you can move along while referring to those messages. There he is, Cao Cao. The enemy officer is getting in the way, so we will work together to defeat him. This is so cool. Feels great. Very exhilarating. And the sound and everything. The battle against officers are very challenging, but at the same time, the battles feel great to play. So go for it. And go for it. Parry. Cool, we didn't need to worry about him at all. But we still can't finish this one. There's no greater satisfaction for gamers. Gamers are very particular about wanting to make cool plays, like connecting various moves. I think that this Dynasty Warriors game is perfect in that respect, since it is more enjoyable than ever before. Oh, and to finish things up, it's fun just to watch it. I'd like to try it. Now that we've defeated the enemies in our way, Cao Cao has resumed his march, so it's time to take over the base ahead. And now the door is closed. So we're using the protagonist's special power that I mentioned before. This is called Eyes of the Sacred Bird. Using the Eyes of the Sacred Bird, various pieces of information on the battlefield can be seen in real time. There are many ways to utilize it, but it can mainly be used to see the status of officers on both sides or to trigger tactics that you can issue to your troops of guards. Here, let's use one of the tactics, order to march, to send guards to another battle zone. So while those guards do their best in the area I sent them to, yes, now they went. And I will proceed with capturing the base whose gates have been opened together with Cao Cao. And there are many enemies here too. So I want to capture this base before I move on. It's important to capture this place, but I think you can see the gate glowing. And you could open it without them surrendering, but the enemy will get in the way. So basically, better to take control before proceeding. You're sweeping them away. And here, if it doesn't go well, then it will be a problem for the director. So with the base under control, all the gates to the base will open. And there are pots, speaking of bases, and in the pots there are meat buns. I wondered why meat buns from pots, freshly steamed meat buns. In Dynasty Warriors, meat buns are a staple. Let's stock up on meat buns that will recover health and then move on. So with the Wu Tao inside, Cao Cao has begun preparing for a surprise attack. And we will approach him and launch a surprise attack together. I like the sound of the battle cry. By attacking together with allies in this way, we can lower the enemy's morale and courage. This is exactly what you talked about earlier. Yes, to add some information about morale and courage. So morale affects both your forces and the enemy forces as the blue and the red gauge in the lower right. This affects everything. And courage is a matter of the status of individual forces and officers. When you conduct a surprise attack, you can lower the morale and the courage of your enemy and to create a very advantageous situation. There were a lot of officers. Yes, here. And we will fight against a female officer called Zhenji. And this is an extreme Musou attack, a special move you can execute with companions. This is so cool and strong. Very powerful. You can't use it many times, but you can use it once when the companion's gauge is more than half full and the director is fighting mercilessly against this female officer. This is just the way warfare is. So, incidentally, the base gauge at the top of the screen is empty, but there are still 3 officers here. Let's defeat them, and then we can conquer this base. And enemies are increasing again. Oh my god. The protagonist is using true Musou attacks, which is a powerful mode making him invincible and he can do whatever he wants. And this is the best part. That's what I want to do. In this state of true Musou attacks, the finishing move is a new special move called Ultimate Musou Attack. It's powerful and it's very cool. This is a very cool move. And this is the end. We finished off. Yes, we conquered the base. Thank you. It's a great feeling. Now that the storehouse or base in Wuchao has been conquered, set a fire. Yes, the storehouse will be burned. There are many enemy troops, so losing their provisions will greatly lower their morale. And Yuan Shao will also be very angry after this. What a great reaction. Yeah, that's it. He gave us what we wanted. The enemy morale has dropped significantly. That's a lot. The gauge was less than 1/3. So now this is a chance to defeat the large enemy force that we struggled with at the beginning. And we've left it to our allies, you know. Yes, just now I used the order to return on guards I sent with the Eyes of the Sacred Bird tactic. Now, let's head for the large enemy force we struggled with earlier.
Oh, here it comes, here it comes. I'm going to use the Eyes of Sacred Bird tactic called Volley. By executing it from a high location, you can lower the enemy's courage. And now I use it. Oh. It works really well. Since the enemy's courage has been greatly lowered, you can defeat enemy officers and troops in an exhilarating way, and the large force gauge at the top decreases quickly. So there are many different types of tactics. Yes, at the moment there are 3 types of tactics set up, but as the game progresses, you will gain more tactics, so you can also set up your favorite combination. Interesting. Different depending on the player. It also how to handle the current situation and what tactic you use. I hope that everyone who plays the game will enjoy it according to their own strategies. The enemy officers are coming back more and more and more. They're leaving. They decided to retreat for a while. Now the situation reversed. The allies are heading towards the enemy headquarters in the north. The vitality looks unlimited. They run so fast. People in the past had a lot of physical strength. They would go great distances and while carrying many items. Soldiers are also very fast. While the protagonist is also headed north, but his allies have split into 2 and are advancing towards the west. So they're all marching smoothly. I'm going to north too, but since we've split into 2, I'm going to go to the right. Allies are starting to prepare for the assault and are waiting for the others to come. Since I'm here, I will change my weapon from gauntlets to a staff. Depending on the weapon, the characteristics change, but a staff might be better suited to large forces. It has a long reach and it's fast. Oh, here they come. This is good. While you can go in alone, I'd like to go in together with my allies for the sake of the program. Looking at the huge number of enemies, have them flinch once, then go in with allies. Now, I would like to start the assault with Cao Cao. Cool. It starts great and feels really good. It's a battle between large forces. Our courage got a huge boost. The shield soldiers are like a wall, so it's tough. To advance our allies, we need to be more aggressive, breaking down walls. I can attack smoothly because I have a lot of allies, but if I go alone, first I'm blocked by shields, and then I'll get beat up inside. The courage is really high. Enemies and allies of large forces are in a state of antagonism. It feels good. This is very good action. It's great. Some people might think that Dynasty Warriors is just about button mashing, but I can see you're thinking of a very precise strategy in your head, thinking about what to do next. In particular, the strategy and structure of Dynasty Warriors Origins has been enhanced, so I think that those who like that kind of thing will enjoy it even more. In this game, if an enemy officer is willing to engage in duel, you can agree to it. In a duel, regardless of the amount of health at start, the winner is the one who dominates the gauge at the top of the screen within the time limit. Very strong. The orange moves. Be careful. Evade well. Since this is simulated play, we have plenty of time to spare. Push through from there. The final blow is a staff, so the action has changed again. Winning a duel will greatly lower the enemy's courage. While their courage is lowered, it's your chance. They fell on the backside, so you can beat them with a single blow, since enemy officers are also weaker. And while I was talking, the enemy has used a tactic. The general commander Yuan Shao has triggered a ground tactic called overwhelming charge. This ground tactic is allowing the enemy to launch a very powerful attack. But by fulfilling its conditions shown in the top left corner, you can prevent it from happening. This time you have to defeat two of them, Yontan and Yonshang, within 3 minutes. First, we'll take on one of them. An exclamation mark appears. I'll take the sun, Yonshang. I will use Eyes of the Sacred Bird tactic mounted charge. Hitting officers in the distance lowers the courage. I got it, hit myself. If you fight like this and lower their courage even more, you can defeat them faster and more comfortably. This is a nice flow. Not only Yuan Tan is left, and he can be seen in the distance. You can certainly see an exclamation mark in the distance. My allies are fighting for me, so I'll head to Yuan Tan's location to stop him in time. There are 2 minutes left, but Yuan Tan seems to be harder or stronger than Yonshang. He still has health. His moves are unique. The change character gauge on the left is also full, and I'm thinking out loud that it might be a good idea to switch it to the companion character. What is that? Can you do that? Before that, I will try a bit harder. And I'm going to switch to the companion. When you switch to a companion, they are very strong. It's the same in terms of firepower, so you're practically invincible. So as a 1 versus 1,000 officer, you can fight aggressively. It's like kind of fever time. And Musou Rage is an even stronger state where you're completely invincible, so you're very powerful. Wow, really strong. It's totally different. So we successfully prevented the enemy's ground tactic. The situation is now completely in your favor. However, since I switched to a companion, I have not yet performed the final move, Ultimate Musou Attack, a completely different magnitude of power. This one. Wow! Awesome! 1,000. Truly an army of one. And that was an ultimate Musou attack. While I'd like to continue and then return to the protagonist and win, I'd like everyone to actually play the game. All that is left is winning, and I wanted to see that. That's all for now for the gameplay. Thank you very much, Sho-san. That was really interesting. Like, not only for those who've played the Dynasty Warriors series, but also for newcomers. There's a lot that will make you want to try it out.
The dev team members, when they hear what you said, I think they will be so happy. And then that's exactly what we are aiming for. And we are really happy to hear your comment. The advancement of technology, the numerous number of enemies, it is so powerful, and you feel this. You feel that's exactly what Dynasty Warriors is, and it's very exhilarating. And I really want to try it as soon as possible, and makes me so excited. So that's all about the game. And again, we would like to communicate again the release date and information of the product. So Dynasty Warriors Origins can be played on PS5, Xbox Series XS, and Steam, available on January 17th, 2025. And now it's almost time for us to say goodbye. And Sho-san, and you are now at the final stage of the development, and I think we first look forward to the reaction of the visitors at TGS playing your game. Yes, we have 3 days to spare, and we would like to see the feedback. And so towards the release date, we are going to work very hard in the last stage. And please also give us a feedback through post on X, and we will continue to provide new information through our official SNS. And please continue to support Dynasty Warriors Origins. Thank you. And with that, we conclude this program. And thank you very much, Sho-san. And also thank you for our audience for staying up with us to the last minutes. Thank you so much.
Guardian of Peace, you have crossed paths with men who may one day bring about order. Until then, you must adapt to the chaos and find a way to survive. So choose your path wisely. Go forth and learn what it means to be a hero.
You claim to strive for justice, but have no way to achieve it. Tearing down the system without providing an alternative is mere wanton destruction. The die has been cast. All that remains is to see this through.